Okay, so in today's video, we're going to do something a little different, a little off topic. Well, no, actually on topic, but what we're actually going to be doing today is we're going to be interviewing Jed Linniman. And this video is really just to help him kind of get his story out. I have some questions prepared, but we are going to let him talk for the most part and just let him get his story out there. So join me on this and, you know, let's get this going.
This is Terry. I'm Jed Linniman. This is Terry Linniman. Well, we can go through it again with him because we explained to the Foreman brothers, and then we told our interviews were about an hour long each.
Yeah, they're
a lot of that was edited out.
Yeah, the way that they edited it, in my opinion, didn't really paint the most pleasant light. I think they kind of edited it to make it look a specific kind of way that would suit them better.
Oh, well, to make it interesting and to make a lot of the stuff that was actually real world stuff to make it look spooky.
Yeah.
I had a sugar attack.
I saw that. That was one of the first things I noticed during your interview. That it looked like you were going hypoglycemia. I have it written down here.
Yeah, see, I wasn't diabetic then.
Yeah. I
was hypoglycemic. And what happens is my pancreas is overactive. So if I don't eat, I get sick. Yeah. Or if I eat too much, I get sick.
Yeah.
So what had happened was I was having a hard time telling the story. And my wife, I call her my wife now because we're back together.
Right.
But not to be confused, this is the same woman, the ex-wife that was in the story.
Yeah.
But I was so nervous because of all the stuff that was happening, and the activity ramped up when the Foreman brothers committed to doing the investigation.
Okay.
So neither one of us were eating. We weren't sleeping. We were battling. Like the night before, we were done with each other.
Yeah.
So I hadn't eaten, and when I started, she told me before I sat down, she's like, "You need to concentrate." Because this thing is not going to allow you to tell your story. And so I was trying not to be emotional. I was trying not to choke up because her and I had split after her father passed. And my whole my career, I left my career behind. It just completely destroyed my entire life.
Yeah.
So that's why I had that little hypoglycemic attack. And you can see where my daughter came in and tested my sugar.
Yeah.
And did it have anything to do with what was happening in the house? Probably not. It could have been a combining factors of all the things happening that affected me physically to make that happen.
Yeah.
But, you know, things like that happen to me.
Well, I mean, there's a whole list of things that can happen with hypoglycemia and hyperglycemia and stuff like that, including like nervousness, confusion, irritability, shakes, tiredness, and like sweating, like hot flashes too. So that was.
We've been doing 15 years, we know.
Yeah, when I saw you going through that in the video, I was like, man, he's like hitting all of these.
Mm-hmm.
So like we were really kind of paying attention to that because after Beardo brought it to light, me and a couple colleagues started, you know, kind of jumping into it and, you know, trying to research a little bit. And we went back and we watched the video and, I left your interviews out of my video because like, I didn't want their editing and during the interviews to kind of interfere with the actual, like what we were actually trying to dissect there. And that was the Foreman bros going through your house.
A lot of the stuff that they caught was things that we did and still do have happen here.
Okay.
The investigation to us wasn't a big deal because we're both pretty intelligent people. Right. We're educated. And a lot of it we can sort out for ourselves. And we didn't mind sharing the stories and them making what they made of it as far as the investigation on YouTube. We loved watching it. You know, it was entertaining. After that episode is when things started to clear up a little bit for me. Because the whole thing, when they left, Terry and our daughter were like, wow, it's lighter in here.
It was bright.
brighter.
It was so bright.
And I wasn't feeling the comfort at all. Well, this house is 4 stories. It's 6,500 square feet.
Yeah, I saw that it was a big house.
There's some parts of this house that we don't go to for months and months at a time. And then we found we had a family of raccoons living in one wing of the house. And then we had a bunch of stray cats that came in through a hole in the bricks down in the basement and were living in it. It got nasty. I mean, about 3 months later, I went down there and found out it was awful. So we've been battling with the cleanup, and that's a whole long story too about why we bought the house. But so we spent a year and a half or so just debunking our own stuff.
Right.
You know, 'cause we'd sit there and we'd lay there in bed and we'd hear stuff scratching in the walls, and we'd get freaked out and be like, "Listen, you hear that?" You know how it is.
Yeah.
You know, and it's freaky for a second, but then you can hear the little feet.
And then it's process of elimination. So
Right.
we know, so a lot of times we know what things are and then what things aren't supposed to be there.
And we cut all the plumbing out of the house and ran all new PEX piping. So, you know.
Nice.
We've cut all the gas lines out, so there's no gas running to this.
Right.
Okay.
No.
Weirdo asked me that too. We eliminated so many variables. We have a rail yard about 200 yards away.
Is it active?
The rail yard itself is not active, but the main line next to it is.
Okay.
So you get trains going by quite a bit.
Yeah. That can cause vibration and make stuff move too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We and see, we didn't rely on a whole lot of the bumps in the night.
Yeah.
Because that happened, it didn't happen for the first couple of years we were here, but as time went on, we started to hear that stuff.
Yeah.
We dismissed a lot of stuff, but I actually seen my first apparition in this house. I'd never seen anything else in my life ever.
Okay.
So that's where debunking a lot of this stuff. And I think these ghost hunting groups are getting the wrong idea about debunkers, because the debunker community, to me, I've seen is kind of new, but it's a necessity.
Yeah.
I reached out to Beardo for the same reason I reached out to the Foreman brothers, because when I was looking for help, to me, they seemed like the guys for the job. They wanted to help families. They wanted to help us, help my family.
Right.
And as it went on and on and on and on, where I couldn't get an answer or get any help from them, I was understanding, because I know they're busy, and I know they got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
But then I started seeing a bunch of people were questioning their investigations, which, of course, you can question anyone's investigation. That's part of it.
Yeah.
We want to know what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
If you want to watch a horror movie, you can watch a horror movie. I want to see what's real so I can protect myself.
Right.
So I can recognize what's happening.
Yeah.
And when I reached out to Beardo, I wasn't reaching out to Beardo to debunk the Foreman brothers.
Right.
I wasn't reaching out to Beardo to discredit them, and a lot of the things that I said, I wanted to not be made public. And I say that because I'm a man,
Right.
I don't want to ruin anybody's credibility or public image, but I want my questions answered.
Right.
And some of the stuff that came out, I should have kept to myself. And I feel like an asshole. And I said it to Beardo and Jeff from Boot Productions.
Yep.
It was not my business to say some of the things I did, but I felt like that was working against me. The things that happened was taken away from my investigation.
Yeah.
And I didn't want a big debunking thing going on for people to say, the Foreman brothers are fakes, they're liars. That's not what I was looking for.
Right.
I was looking to have someone look at my investigation and tell me, hey, did these guys come in here and blow smoke up my ass and scare me? Because when they left, it was a full month before the episode came out.
Right.
We got no information.
Yeah.
We didn't know what was in our house. We didn't know what they had seen, what they heard, what they captured. We didn't know anything.
Right. So your cats were still in the house while they were investigating, right?
No, we
Gotten through the window.
yeah, we put them all outside, and then we because they're indoor outdoor cats. They're not exclusively indoor.
Okay.
So we didn't have to like crate them or anything. We just put them out. But there was a cat or two that was running around.
Okay.
The one window downstairs was broke, and they had come in that one window.
Yeah, there is a couple windows in the house on the lower levels that there's only storm windows in.
Okay.
So they can get in and out.
Okay.
And we've tried to keep them out. But that's another variable.
Yeah. So like, the cats being in the house, obviously they can make noise, they can run up and down stairs. It'll sound like footsteps.
Yeah, we signed a couple.
I know they said something about it was just for them to be able to. The one paperwork was for them to just be able to walk through the house, but then there was a secondary paper that we signed that really wasn't explained, and they said that we would get a copy and never got a copy.
I'll tell you the God's honest. I'll tell you the God's honest truth, man. I was between me and her. I can't speak for her, but normally I can, but I won't right now.
Yeah.
I can speak for myself when I'm telling you that I was so broke up when this was happening.
Yeah.
That I trusted those men so much to come in and help that I would have signed anything they asked me for, and that's not something I would normally do.
Right.
I'm just so looking forward to the help.
Right.
That when they said, "Here, this is for us to be able to walk through your house, and hey, if we fall down, you can't sue us," which that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Consent forms and liability waivers, and they probably had you sign the rights for the video too, since you guys are in the video. They probably just wanted to get your rights on it. Now, I will say that I do believe you should have been given copies of it. But here in Ohio, they don't have to provide you. They can tell you they're going to provide you and then decide not to. It's not illegal for them to not provide you copies.
Beardo described it better than anyone I'd ever heard. He said she was the grief of the death of her father, and he was suffering the grief of the death of his marriage. Yeah. That's where we were.
Back to the Sean was the one that was messaging me. Well, it's because Rocky and Josh doesn't have a Facebook page. It was only Rocky. Or only Sean. Rocky and Josh didn't. And so I would message Sean and say, hey, I wish you all, I'm praying for you tonight. If you're on an investigation, please stay safe. And he would be like, thank you. And then I messaged him and said, things are getting really bad around here. We need to get back together. It's getting really bad. And he would say, okay, well, what is it? And then so I said, remember that kitchen that you ran to in the video and the alarm was going off that you thought was really creepy? Well, we haven't been in that room for over a month, and we're actually repainting it and we bleached everything because, we were trying to clean it out. We're putting new flooring and everything down.
Yeah.
I said, there are a massive amount of flies in this room. So I sent him the video. I got nothing. Absolutely. He didn't even look at it. And he said, who are you messaging? And I said, Sean, because I would say, hey, you guys on the investigation? I'm praying for you tonight. And he would say, thank you, or whatever. And he was like, why is Sean messaging you, but they won't message me? So he got upset.
Right. That's
what that was all about. And I was like, well, I didn't even realize that they weren't messaging him.
Right.
So, I just told him, I said, I just sent him that video and now they're not messaging me at all anyway. So there's no response. And I let him see, the messages between me and Sean from the beginning to end.
Right.
And he just said, that's really strange to me that he's messaging you, but none of them will respond to me.
Right.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that. I kind of feel like they should have been dealing with him only since, he's the one that was experiencing most of the activity. But,
and it is his house. You guys are right. It is his house. But I was we shortly after that investigation, we were like, we finally need to work on things. We need to get back together. So I moved back in here. So, I thought that maybe me messaging Sean, just because that's the only one I had on Facebook, would help. And wow, I even got nothing after that. I got cricket.
Have they messaged you recently since he went to Beardo?
Oh yeah. The minute Beardo's episode dropped on YouTube, they started messaging us. Yeah.
They messaged him first. And they were going back and forth, and we were at his parents' house. And so I was like, Well, then I got a message, hey, why is your address on their YouTube channel? And I'm like, of course, as a mother, my heart sinks. I have a 16-year-old kid. She's here, home alone sometimes. I work 2 jobs. He works.
Well, just to correct that a little bit, do you know of Jeff from Boot Productions?
Yeah, I talk to Jeff frequently.
Okay, well, Jeff messaged me, and he was irate. He said they doxed you guys.
Kind of.
I don't even know what the word dox is. And the way it happened was, it was like a post of a picture with our name, and then next door to the famous Bonnie Connellan Castle, and it was a nonchalant way of putting it out there, and it's like, who does that?
So, from what I remember in the video, your wife actually gives your address out in the video.
Yeah.
So
in the video,
I can't really say that they doxed you,
move afterwards,
but they definitely put your name and your relevant location out for a reason. I will say that. I will say that they definitely did it for a reason.
Well, see, and that was the thing, is when he wanted the history, he said, he said he was going to leave that part out, but he wanted to know for their records what the address was.
That's why she said it.
So that's why I said it.
Gotcha.
He wanted me to say. So he says, what's your name, what's your address, and then what's the history, and then this part is going to be cut out. So I said what he asked me to say, and he said it was just for their records.
And he left it in the video.
Said, so he posted it, and I thought, that kind of sucks. But,
that's shady, man. Yeah, that's shady.
Okay, so then I kind of got a little bit like, okay, so not very many people are going to see this. All right, but then when you call us out and make your fans not like us, and there's animosity, you're going to send crazy people to my house. I've got a 16-year-old kid that is here.
She cried all day yesterday.
For 20 minutes after I got home from work, I stood on the side and I bawled for 20 minutes straight. I thought, how could someone I invited into my home betray me, flat out betray me, and disrespect me on all levels, and strip me of any sort of dignity I thought I had.
Right.
And I felt so like I was losing a best friend, kind of like I trusted them. And here I am. I'm like, on top of everything else I've got going on, I just had eye surgery, so I'm not really able to see the phone.
Right.
And I'm dealing with that. I'm dealing with, trying to work these 2 jobs and everything else with the house being uneasy. And, I've got a 16-year-old. 16-year-olds are 16-year-olds. And then we got a girl, which is worse.
Yeah.
And then trying to worry about the safety of my family now. It's like, for people that I prayed for every Saturday, people that pretty much disrespected me, didn't get back in contact with me, but I still considered them friends. I thought, well, they're just busy.
And it's weird because they're saying, well, we considered you guys our friends and we kept you in our prayers all the time. And I'm like, well, we never heard that. Yeah. We never seen that, We would have loved, we've talked to when they were here. We're like, when you guys get free, let us know. We'd like to come down and take you guys out to eat. Maybe sit and talk about what you found, anything. We wanted to be friends with these guys, but after the one response that we got from them on the email, there was nothing for a year. And they posted that. I mean, it's like they were trying to say that it didn't happen, but they posted that it did.
Yeah.
But here was another thing. So they posted what Jed had said 7 days after the video. But then they also, went back, and I had Jed look, because Jed still got the email. So they posted what Jed had said, and then their response, which the dates in the corner have been modified.
Oh,
but
yeah?
They also did not put, Jed responded after that. So there's actually 3 correspondents. So Jed again, and then nothing. So they only put Jed's response, their response, modified dates in the corner, like they responded the same day, they responded the next day, and then nothing. So they even even modified those.
Wow. Yeah, so they really are just trying to build their own timeline.
Yeah.
Well, even if they're not, there's a whole year.
Even after those emails, there's still an entire year of no correspondence between any of us.
Yeah, I don't know about the dates because I don't keep track of time real well. But there was I do know for a fact, we went back and looked, there's a whole year. Because I told them, don't be too stressed because I know you guys are busy. Just give me some advice.
Right. Well, the very least they could have done was to point you in the direction of another investigation team, in my opinion.
Or a church or anybody.
Yeah, that's the very least that they could have done, in my opinion. That's not uncommon for actual paranormal investigators to say, hey, this might not be something that we can do. Let me get you some other help. That was fairly common when I was doing it.
Because that's what Beardo did.
Yeah.
In a matter of a few hours, Beardo had somebody that was willing to talk to me.
Yeah, and Jeff,
and put my life at ease.
I can't think of a better guy than Jeff to actually try and handle it. Jeff's a solid dude.
Once you said what you said to me and what you've said in this call so far, I didn't know any of these people at all. I just liked how Beardo, his video, I liked how he presents himself.
Yeah.
He likes to go to battle, He reminds me a lot of myself. That's why I chose him. And now that you've told us what you've told us about these guys, I mean, I'm glad I feel we're in good hands.
Beardo
Dana has been a godsend too.
Oh, Dana has kept her. Jeff and Dana have given her more peace of mind than I have been able to in years.
They're good
because
people.
I wondered what the cigarette smoke was, and my dad was a smoker, so that's where initially the cancer came from, was the lungs.
Yep.
And when I was smelling cigarette smoke, Dana's like, "That's probably your dad just checking in on you guys. Don't think that that's something freaky." And so it kind of made me feel like, yay, but I don't want my dad stuck. I don't want him. I don't want him, in between. I just want to know that he's okay. And so Dana put my mind more at ease with that. Yeah. And I can't thank her enough.
They're good people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've got nothing but respect for the both of them.
I never got that from Paranormal Nightmare, other than the fact that they didn't even tell us nothing from the time they investigated to the time it aired. They wouldn't even tell us what was going on. And then after it aired, we did text them and say, so we did find out some information. So Steve, that you hear over those apps that you guys don't believe in. Yeah. We have to kind of believe in them a little bit.
It was the SB7.
Yeah.
Where we were hearing the voice. They told that someone had died in this house.
And he said his name was Steve, and he said, did you die to apartment? And he said apartment 2 over that SB7. And to come to find out, one of our really good friends when we were younger, his dad, Steve King, died in apartment 2. So
they reached out to us after the episode dropped and were like, that dad died in that house, right? I was like, oh God, so how would that have happened?
So I have a whole video on those apps where I go into, I actually do a fake investigation with the app, only using the app. And then I'm out in a public park with the data on my iPad turned off. And I'm in a park and I'm talking about something, like a name comes across and I start talking to it and it says it's something about it died. And then I say a specific word. And then not even 5 minutes later, that word comes across the iPad. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not paranormal. I don't know if maybe they had said Steve beforehand. All I can tell you is that from my experience, those devices listen. Mm-hmm. The apps they listen to you. I don't really know about the SB7. I don't have a whole lot of experience with that.
It's scanning radio stations super fast, and to me,
so it's a spirit box.
That is fairly unreliable as well, but also in the grand scheme of things,
coincidence. It's a big coincidence. Yeah.
Things can be manipulated like radio waves and things, but can energy that lives in an area manipulate that to communicate through it? Who's to say? But apps, no way.
Yeah, and I kind of figured that if we would have said, because all their equipment was in the bedroom when we were even talking on a personal level without the cameras rolling, that if we would have said something about a certain person dying here prior to that if that would have picked that up. But we didn't even know about that. We didn't even know that even happens for that to even pick that up. So that was kind of a little bit strange. Things got quiet and then ramped back up. Things have been. Our health has gotten worse.
Okay.
It's not so much worse, I think, as it is in more different manifestations.
I'm gonna
before it was bad. It was scary in here, but now it's a different kind of stuff that happens. There's times where we'll have activity for a couple days. I'll even be afraid to walk around in the dark.
Okay.
And I don't shake, man. I don't get scared. And the things that happen to her, and then the things that I run into after it happens to her.
Right.
I can't even stand walking around at night, even with a flashlight. So I don't know. Now I'm afraid to try to talk to anybody after this all happened.
Right. No, I mean, that's completely understandable. I can certainly understand that.
And it feels like their heroes are being taken down, and all that. And that's just not how it is.
Yeah.
If you really look at it from a standpoint of where this all began,
you're just looking for answers.
Right. And you want the real answers. I didn't want to be scared and everybody to be like, no, there's a demon in your house. And I didn't want that. I would have been happy with everything in my house being fake, because then I would have had a place to start, somewhere to try to get better. And I know the trauma between my wife and I and the deaths and everything. Yeah. I know that was a huge contributing factor to the openness for the things that was happening to us. But there was also a lot more to our story of things that really do happen.
Right.
But this all spun off and took a whole nother direction that it didn't have to go.
Right.
And everybody in their community now is like, you need to make this right. Like, but
for
who
what?
makes it right?
You didn't do anything.
Right. Who makes it right for us? You guys are going out of your way and taking time out of your days to make it right for us. And while I'm talking, I said something to Jeff and to Dana, and I've tried to get through to Beardo and you as well. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, for me and my wife, for what you're doing for us.
Yeah. No problem, man. Like I said, I've been in different circumstances, obviously, but a similar situation with people coming after you for literally just no reason at all. You're just looking for help. You're just looking for answers. The Foreman Bros didn't give you the answers that you're looking for, that you needed. You're looking to other people to help do it. And honestly, in my opinion, you reaching out to Beardo was possibly one of the best moves you ever could have made. You didn't know that Boo, was literally right down the street from you. You guys, you didn't know that I'm literally right down the street from you. So there's a whole community of people that are actually around you guys that you didn't know. So reaching out to Beardo, he's the biggest channel in this community. I'm reasonably sure he's the biggest channel. Let me just say that. But he's got so many connections with all of us smaller guys. And now, especially with Jeff has got more experience than probably anybody I know dealing with this kind of stuff. So I really think that you guys are in great hands with Jeff and Dana.
Oh, Jeff and Dana Beardo's a godsend.
Yeah.
That's like, that dude's like opening the yellow pages for whatever you need, and going out of his way to hook us up with you guys. And then Jeff and Dana, those guys are so personal.
Yeah.
They said that they're putting us through questionnaires right now to find out where we are mentally.
Right.
And he said, we're with you guys for the duration of this thing. It might not end perfectly, and it might not end the way you want it to. He's like, but we will find resolution.
Right.
And if that means we have to live with, maybe we have mental health issues. There's not a lot of people out there that don't at this point.
Everybody's got something.
Right. And if say we have to live with Casper the Friendly Ghost for the rest of our days,
Right.
Either way, those people are they're gonna stick with us, and they're gonna help us.
Yeah.
They're not gonna want anything. And I want to say it just so everyone knows. The Foreman brothers never asked us for anything.
Good.
They never asked us for money.
Good.
And that's one of the first things I did. I was like, look, guys, I don't have a bunch of money right now. And they're like, that's not what this is about.
Right.
And I don't want to say anything but the truth. I'm not trying to make anyone look bad.
Right.
But Jeff and Dana, those guys, man, they're great.
Everybody's made a really good point. Paranormal Nightmares, the Foreman brothers, I think their intentions are they do want to help people, but they're not following up with the people that need it.
Yeah.
I think they've let fame kind of go to their head, and it's sad because they really have something. Oh no!
You're good. It's still on.
Okay, we're trying to. Oh Lord!
I can see and hear you guys. Can you hear me?
I don't know what he's doing.
No, we can hear you.
Okay.
We've got an ongoing. It says ongoing call, but I dropped the phone. We're watching our granddaughter.
Right.
Here, try to fix this. Oh no! I dropped the phone.
I don't know. So I guess all I can say is they have a good heart. I think if they would just go through and start taking into consideration from now on. What are you doing? Stop touching things.
Damn it! I want to be able to see. Oh. There it goes.
He's touching. If from now on, if they would just go through and consider in all their investigations going forward, if they continue to do the home investigations, follow up with those people.
Yeah.
If they would do that, that would be so much more. They would have more followers. They would have more respect from so many more people, and they wouldn't have to worry about debunkers and people saying bad things about them, because like I said, they were doing that's what people are in the impression that they're doing, that they're going in and they're doing good things for people, and they are to a certain extent. But when people have things ramp back up like we did, and they reach out, don't say that messages are getting lost. That's not an excuse.
Right.
There was multiple messages. You could have replied to any of those.
Right. I agree.
Even the video that I sent Sean on his personal Facebook.
Yeah. Even just doing the bare minimum of saying, hey, we can't do this right now. Here's another group.
Or not even wait for a message from those people. You could have reached out.
Right.
There could have been a timeline. Okay, every 2 months, a couple times. So I did this investigation on this month on the calendar. 2 months from now, I'm going to reach out to. They only do 4 people a month. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they could have done that. That would have been easy. It takes how long to send a text?
Right.
They have their telephone number.
Yeah.
And we didn't get anything.
Yeah, because this stuff goes deep. This affects our family.
Right.
This affects our well-being. It affected our I had lost. I went to school. She was going to college. I had gone through college and all that, and I loved my career, everything, all based around the trauma and this event that happened in our lives.
Yeah.
That's no one's responsibility but ours. but it's not just an investigation to us.
Right.
It wasn't just a YouTube video.
Yeah, it's life.
It wasn't just a bunch of likes and a bunch of watches and stuff. This was shit that was hitting us hard.
Right.
You know? And why wouldn't you want to follow up with someone like that?
And they sent me a message after I sent them a message saying, you put our address out there in a negative way. And now I'm terrified because I have my 2-year-old granddaughter here. If he's not here, I'm not going to say I'm not going to panic and not know what to do if something happens where some weirdo shows up to my house.
Right.
But I have my 16-year-old here. Sometimes, he works. I work 2 jobs. So what am I supposed to do? And then he was like, well, we never said anything bad about you. We considered you our friends, blah, 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 blah. And I'm thinking, friends? Friends check up on friends.
Right.
The phone works both ways. I literally, like I said, that's why I think I came home yesterday from work and I stood on the side of the bed and just cried for 20 minutes straight, just tears just rolling down my face. I just couldn't process, it was like losing a best friend. Like I said, I prayed for them every Saturday,
right,
thinking to myself, what was I doing? I don't know. Right. I don't know. I'm just so lost. I don't know. And then all this stuff's coming out and I didn't want, obviously, too much too much negativity about them because like I said, I feel like to a certain extent, they are good guys. They are, but they don't follow through with what they should. So okay. I don't know.
All right.
What other questions do you have? I know we're babbling on and on and on, and you wanted to ask.
Honestly, I think we went over everything that I had on my list.
I mean, we don't have drugs or alcohol.
Right.
I have gotten the help I needed from my dad. Yeah. I have addressed that issue.
Good.
I actually did that before we did this investigation. And like I said, even just bringing up dad is hard for me, just right. Because I would love to have him.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then only thing Jed and I being back together, we're working on things. Things aren't going to be perfect.
Right.
We had a lot to mend. And then I'm just kind of worried about now, with everything going on and then his health falling apart and then I'm having eye surgery,
right.
So I've got a lot of other things we're worried about, but we're hanging in there.
Right. And
we're trying to do the best we can.
The potential stress too of having your private information out there, and now with their fans possibly coming after you, have you noticed anybody coming by the house, or have you gotten any kind of anything on social media?
We live so far off the street that they would have to literally climb a wall. There's a big 5-foot wall in the front of the house with no steps leading to it, and then out back we have cameras facing out back, so I don't think, but then who knows? I
think it's more of a vandalism worry that I'm stressed about, because there are people in this area, the Shelby County area, that follow them, and their fans, wow, they got real ugly. Yeah. And we didn't make the videos.
Right.
I mean, I could understand if I was making a video saying this, all kind of this and that about them, but we didn't make the videos.
Right.
Yeah.
We were just sharing our story and what hurt us, and Beardo said he's not having it.
Right.
And before he even said, I'm going to make a video, he's like, I'm going to get you guys help. Right. And then he video. So he took care of the most important stuff right away. He didn't have to do any of that.
He's got a big heart. He's a big old softy. He comes across as a tough guy, but he's a big softy.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah. He's great.
So went online, obviously, to see what was up on Paranormal Nightmares page. And I started reading the comments, and of course, I'm like, my heart's hurting, and I'm just like, what? So people have no idea who I am, what my story is, what they did, what they didn't do. I'm just looking, and I finally just, I put up a post, and I just told him, with the house the way it is and stuff, please don't call me because I'm not going to respond. Thanks in advance. I just put this long rant on there.
Oh, yeah, they were calling us. They were saying that we were jealous of the Foreman brothers and we wanted to be Facebook famous.
And we wanted to be
famous.
We wanted to be paranormal investigators, but didn't want to put in.
That was one of their claims, is that that Jed wanted to go on investigations with them and he wanted to be one of them. And
I did say to them, at some point, if you guys ever were interested in someone going along with you, because I wanted to learn about this stuff.
Right.
This was before I had done my own homework. And found out that the biggest part of it was of everybody's investigations were not even real.
Yeah.
Because an investigation with someone, you learn how to deal with some of this.
You learn techniques. You learn how to investigate.
You gotta be empathetic and sympathetic to the people that are going through stuff. Number one. That's number one.
Maybe learn more about my own issue. My own home.
Yeah.
It wasn't me saying, "Hey, I want to be a Foreman brother." That's not what I just want help.
Right.
I want to be happy again. I want to walk through my house in the dark and, worry about stubbing my toe, not being scared and getting to the next light to flick on. It sucks living here now. Yeah. This was our dream house. It wasn't our dream home, but it's what we got and decided to build the dream.
Me and the girls fell in love with this home. We were forced to move back here from Vandalia, which was an amazing town in itself, city. And when Dad got sick, I had to be closer to him because I was the one that was taking him to and from Columbus, and it was just too much to drive 45 minutes to him and then another hour and a half over to Columbus and then back, and then and try to be and doing that 5 days a week with his care. I just couldn't do it. And I said, we have to move home, and it sucks, but it's home, so let's move back to where we were raised and go from there. So when we found this home, me and the girls fell in love with it. We were like, oh, it's our Barbie dream home. So when we could turn it back into, this big, beautiful mansion, and then everything just fell apart.
Is there a way, or I just wish there was a way that I could let the people know, not only with Boo, and Beardo and with you in the future, a way to let these people know how much we appreciate the support. Like on Beardo's video, the people were so positive. Yeah. Like the Paranormal Nightmare videos, the people were so hateful and nasty. But on Beardo's video, they were all wishing us prayers. They were all just wanting to see us do better. And I wish I could just let all of these people know how much we appreciate it, because that's all we ever wanted from anyone.
How is this our fault? By reaching out to other people that could possibly help us, you refused. We gave you a year, an extra. Okay, so it's 2 years from the investigation. We gave you a year trying to correspond with you, somewhat corresponding with you, and then gave you another extra year. And we heard nothing.
Yeah.
And we've been living with this, I can't.
The only reason I even reached out was because I started seeing so many people that were going after their investigations. We didn't start this.
Right.
I just seen that people were starting to question them, and then I seen that people were saying they just get their video and take off and leave the people and never talk to them again. I thought, wow, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
So then I started to research, and that's when I ran into Beardo. So I wasn't coming after these guys on a personal level.
Right.
I was just trying to find out, hey, did I get juked into being on YouTube for them to get paid? And here I am wondering, what do I do now?
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I reached out.
They profited from our suffering.
Everybody's.
The least you could have done was to at least reach out, like Jed said, and said, we're too busy. Sorry. They didn't. They said in their email that they would look at their schedule and get back with us. Nothing. For an entire year.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
I don't know. We're supposed to make things right.
Maybe
other than telling the truth and going online and exposing them for what they've done.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe I'm overreacting.
No, you're not overreacting.
But at the end of the day, I still have a wife that is now terrified not of her own home, but of super fans, you know, that make her feel unsafe.
Or angry fans.
Because who the hell is anybody to tell me that I'm not allowed to go choose a different route?
Yeah, I don't know. I
heard before I even went another step with it, because I wouldn't have made a move at all if she wasn't comfortable with it.
Right.
I said, Beardo questioned these guys, and he didn't even question them. He was more just trying to say, hey, you know, what you're doing might not be real information. And they got nasty about it.
Yep.
And, you know, they didn't mind me posting wonderful things about them after the investigation. But when I came out and said, hey, you know, we got left high and dry, then I'm the fame monger.
Right.
Yeah, like they really were concerned about
My heart is broken.
where we were going to go next. And he's like, I would really consider becoming an ordained minister just to remarry you guys, because you guys have been through so much together, and
Right.
that's what I want, you know. I would love to have Josh remarry us. That'd have been cool. But then, you know, we're not going to see him again.
Yeah.
We're ghosted. We get ghosted, but we're friends.
Yeah.
It just makes no sense.
Yeah. I don't know. I really feel for you guys. I'm happy that you took the time to sit down and, like, you know, talk to me and tell me your story and stuff like that. I appreciate, you know, that you're letting me, you know, get this video out there so you guys can, you know, tell what's going on from your point of views.
If we can help even one family, if they can look and say, hey, this might happen to us.
Yeah.
You know, in the future.
Yeah.
Because that might just do more damage than it's even worth to have an investigation. After they left, I think they brought something here.
Yeah.
It made it worse, and they refused to deal with it.
Yeah. So it's Jeff, and, you know, they're going to take care of you. I'm certain. I'm certain about that. So I just want to say welcome to the community. First and foremost, you guys are definitely in good hands over on this side of the wall. But
I appreciate it.
I wish you guys the best, man. You guys have been through some stuff. I understand what it's like going through some stuff. So, you know, you guys seem incredibly cool to me. If you ever need somebody to talk to, you know, Jeff's around, Beardo's around. I'll definitely talk to you if you message me. You know, if I'm not doing anything else, I'll hop on. If nothing else, I will at least message you back and say, hey, I can't right now. How about, you know, another time? But
yeah, I won't bother you, but I do have questions from time to time.
Yeah, you know, and I'm always down to talk. So.
Hopefully we'll be looking forward. We look every day now to see if anyone's made videos or anything.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to our next interview with Jeff and Dana.
Yeah.
Looking forward to moving closer to finding out what we're dealing with here too. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Well, Jed woke up yesterday and he was just, that's his daily routine. Get up, get coffee, look at YouTube, see what's going on. And he said, Jedidiah Linniman, who is this dude? So they had to watch our video. And then he was like, oh, Lord.
It's like, how did he know my real name?
So that's how we ran across to you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I reached out to you. I didn't know when I seen your video had my full name on it. I was like, there is no other Jedidiah. Well, there's one other Jedidiah Linniman, but
This is his older son.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know where you found my name.
Yep. Yeah, it's out there. It's out there. Unfortunately, but you guys don't go to the Paranormal Nightmares page. I'll tell you that right now. Don't go reading those negative comments. Just stay far away from that.
I told Jeff, I don't, you know, it's like, as his joke is, it's like, I don't even look at my bank account because I don't need that negativity in my life. So it's kind of like going to the Paranormal Nightmares page. Yeah. I don't need that negativity in my life. So it's just a joke. I don't do it. I can't. Not after what happened yesterday. I just can't. I don't want that. I have too much going on right now that I don't want to read it. I know what they're all about. They don't know who I am. They don't know what I've been through. So I do it.
Yep.
Yeah, we're looking to the future now. So we're going to try to not be affected by the hate.
There you go.
And just find out what we're dealing with.
You know, you keep positive people in your life like you guys, and it'll stay positive here.
Yep.
And we'll always have a place to turn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not gonna lie to you about stuff. We're going to tell you straight up,
thank you.
if when you tell us, what kind of stuff's going on. Well, all we can really do is speculate, but there will almost always be somebody, if there's a serious problem, who can check it out. So
yeah, and we're not worried about things not being real. If we tell you something and you have an explanation for it, that's giving us an answer.
Right.
If it's not paranormal, that puts us at rest.
Good.
Yeah, because like I said, we have process elimination. Obviously, we do it on the daily when we hear things.
Yeah.
And there are things that we just cannot, and we've told Jeff and Dana, there are things that we just cannot explain away, and we just don't know what to do with it. So, and obviously when you can't explain things away, you just don't know what to even do with the information. So maybe a second opinion outside looking in would help.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, and if it's something that's normal, we're cool.
All right, cool. Nice. Well, I will let you guys go and spend some time with that beautiful baby in the background. And I wish you guys the best of luck. I'll be around if you ever want to talk or you ever want to holler at me about something. So call Jeff back.
Yeah, much love, brother. Thank you for everything.
Hey, no problem, man. I hope you guys do well.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Hey, see you guys later.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.